Welcome back, Mustang Nation. I'm your host, Nina Kovac. This past week, in-person students started attending school 4 days a week. Our staff will continue to check students' temperatures upon arrival to help prevent the spread of the coronavirus. We asked Nurse Clifton about what actions they need to take when a student arrives with a temperature over 100 degrees.
So a student that would have a temperature of 100 or higher, we would notify parent and suggest the student going home. Depends on if there's any other symptoms, but probably with a temperature over 100, we suggest calling the healthcare provider.
If the student tests positive for COVID-19, the health department will notify the school. Then the nurses and staff will begin contact tracing. Once the student has completed their designated quarantine period, they will be able to attend school again. Remember to be washing your hands frequently and wear your mask correctly, covering your mouth and your nose. Since all in-person students have come back 4 days a week, lunch has looked a little different. We have spoke with Assistant Principal Angie Woods about this change.
So the only big changes would once again be to lunch. Now that we're all kind of back in gear, that's really the only thing that would be different is the lunch setup. And so at this point, what we're asking kids to do until next Tuesday is pick a spot where you want to be, both in the cafeteria and also upstairs, because that's going to have to become an actual seating chart.
We also asked her the process of becoming virtual and what steps you have to take to become in person.
So if you're currently an in-person student and you want to become virtual, it's a very simple process actually. All you have to do is have your parent or guardian email your house principal, and then we submit that to the board, and the board makes the change in Infinite Campus, and at that point it's taken care of. So it's a very simple process. If you're a virtual student and you're applying to come back to in-person, it's a little bit more work, but as long as you get your request in by the deadline, you're in pretty good shape. The next opportunity is to come back after Thanksgiving break, and so that deadline would be November the 13th.
Remember, you can go virtual at any time. Your parents just have to call the counselor or house principal. Senior Mason Wooten is one of the 16,000 semifinalists for the National Merit Scholars Program. With over 1.5 million juniors who entered the National Merit Program, Mason is one of the few to advance to become a semifinalist. To become a semifinalist, Mason took the National Merit Scholarship qualifying test. He has a chance to become a finalist and compete for over $30 million in National Merit Scholarships. We talked to Mason Wooten and asked him about the next steps he has to take.
I just submitted an application to become a finalist, and that's going to be reviewed by the National Merit Corporation, and after that, if I move on, then I get finalist status, and that means that I could get like a $2,500 scholarship or other smaller scholarships.
With about 90% of semifinalists advancing to become a finalist, Mason has a good chance of becoming a finalist and competing for a scholarship. Here in our Mustang home, we lost Miss Kacy York unexpectedly this past summer. The special education teacher left a big impact on her school and worked to make sure her students got what they needed. McCracken TV's Katie Janis has more on Miss Kacy's many impacts.
Recently, the Mustangs Youth Service Center has been changed to the name Kacy's Closet to memorialize the late Kacy York, who has played a major role in the centers. We interviewed Miss Stacy Thomas about Kacy's Closet.
Kacy and I worked very closely together as we partnered behind the scenes on different projects and programs for students here at the school. And so my heart for Kacy, and I miss her so much walking these halls, and just the heart that she had to help students in the school was just so beautiful.
She told us about the services Kacy's Closet has for students and how they can reach out.
We provide prevention programs to students throughout the school, programs on managing stress and wellness. We provide those types of programs. We help with basic needs things and connecting students and families to resources in the community. We partner with teachers and a lot of things that they do as far as health and wellness here in our school. And so if you're looking for interviewing opportunities or service learning or community service hours, we can help you with that.
She also informed us on how we can help participate and help Kacy's Closet.
If you've got a program or if you want to assist us in doing a program here at the school, just stop by the office and let us know, and we'll tell you what needs we have.
If you want to visit Kacy's Closet, it can be found downstairs by the main office. You can also locate Kacy's Closet from outside.
Area. And so if you have a need, or if you have a specific thing that you want to do or want to provide, or if you are just you're with a club or an organization and you're looking for hours and you want to start somewhere, you can start with us.
If you are interested in Kacy's Closet has to offer, stop by and visit Miss Stacy Thomas in their office. Their office hours are 7:30 to 3:30. A well-known fact about October is it's Halloween, right? All the candy, decorations, and costumes you can imagine. Well, another fact about October is Down Syndrome Awareness Month. To better understand what it's like for these kids in difficult times, we spoke with Miss Allen. She says, "We use the same things as other students such as Google Classroom and Remind." When asked how they were handling classes during the pandemic, she responded, "Our students have a wide variety of disabilities, not just one set of group, certain students, but we need to be more accepting of kids with disabilities and pay attention to the similarities, not the differences." Over the course of the last 3 years, the use of e-cigarettes has risen to an alarming number. In 2019, 37% of high school students reported vaping or using tobacco products on a regular basis. One MCHS student is working to change that.
Abby Hefner is a junior at MCHS and was recognized this summer as a national advocate for teens against tobacco. However, Abby understands the threat that vaping poses because she herself got caught in the trend.
No one was really saying anything about how negative it was because everyone was doing it. And once you realize for yourself like how bad it is and how addicting it is, you just want to stop. And then after you do, you want everyone else to stop too because it makes your life so much better.
The work Hefner and others are doing around the country has not been without success. According to the Washington Post, the number of teenagers that reported vaping only dropped for the first time to 19.8% from 2019 to 2020.
Absolutely. Lots of people have, I've heard feedback from plenty of people saying how they heard how I quit and it made them realize that it's not impossible and that you can quit if you try hard enough.
Finally, Abby has a message for any student who is thinking about vaping or who have already started.
If there's anyone who is just now starting, I would absolutely try to quit before it gets too serious. And if you're already in where you feel like you can't quit, just speak to an adult. Honestly, that sounds like one of the scariest things you can do, but it'll make it so much easier in the long run.
For Mustang TV News, I'm Brendan Evers.
Abby Hefner plans to continue her fight against vaping and tobacco uses through the year. We think McCracken is the best, and we're not the only ones who agree. The website niche.com gave McCracken County High School a A- grade. The website is designed to rank and grade schools across the U.S. in not only academics, but also in health and safety. While the district ranks 6th in the state, the high school placed 20th out of 357 for best in Kentucky. While we were given 7th for Best High School for Athletics and 31st for Best College Prep, if you want to see more, we've put the link in the description to this video.
The Mustangs football team had their game last week dropped by Hopkinsville to make up a game against a district opponent. This Friday night, they play Henderson for the district championship. The Mustangs are so far undefeated in Class 6A District 1. This week's games could determine how many playoff games the Mustangs will play at home. The Mustangs are scheduled to play Paducah-Tillman next Friday night at Paducah-Tillman High School. Maggie Ite, senior at MCHS track and cross country member, won first place last October 11th at the Fast Cat Classic in Owensboro, Kentucky. Maggie Ite in this year's cross country season was dominant, taking first place at several meets, most recently at the Fast Cat Classic, and last week she committed to the University of Kentucky. Last week, the girls and boys soccer brought home the first district title after both teams picked up 4-0 wins over St. Mary at Paducah's Jeton Field last Thursday. Both teams play in the regional tournament this week. The boys will play at Marshall in the regional and the girls will play at home. We will bring you results from the games next week. The McCracken County volleyball team began their postseason tournament on Monday. Picking up a win over St. Mary, Piper Mullinax led the way with 21 service aces. However, that was not the biggest storyline of the night. With the win, the volleyball coach Tim White has secured his 100th win over a district opponent, and even more notably, the win makes the team's overall record against first district opponents 100-0.
As far as the season goes, I think we're doing pretty well right now with the amount of time that we've had to be able to practice and the games and stuff that we've played. So, this coming weekend, we're playing Henry Clay and Ryle, so both of those teams are ranked pretty high in the state, so it should be a pretty good matchup for us.